Hey guys, what's going on? This is Andrew here today, and I figured that I will make a different kind of video because today we're going to be talking about Guitar Hero. And Guitar Hero is one of those games that I've been playing for quite a long time, and it's really one of the only games that I've gotten above the average skill level, and due to that, I've gone through a lot of controllers, and a lot of times I need new ones. So in terms of how this game goes, I normally know the do's and don'ts of what to go for, and recently, in the past day or so, I got a new Guitar Hero controller because the original Xbox controller that I was using wasn't working, aka the 360 Les Paul. The 360 Les Paul is very known for having a bad neck. After a while, if you keep removing the neck and putting it back on, eventually it's harder for the guitar to register the inputs that you hit due to the pins being absolutely terrible. However, this guitar is a much better suit, and they fixed a lot of those problems that they had with the Les Paul. So normally, when it comes to playing Clone Hero or any other Guitar Hero main series game, I like to stick with the Wii guitars since those ones seem to be the most durable and they don't have as much electronics in them because they're powered by the Wii remote. But this one is a 360 guitar because currently I'm going for an FCU Through the Fire and Flames, and I figured that I would do it either on console GH or Guitar Hero 3 PC rather than using the Wii guitar and making it a little easier for me on Clone Hero. So this guitar came in very nice condition. I found this on Mercari for 40 bucks, but normally looking around for a guitar, they can tend to get expensive nowadays since for some reason everybody wants to buy a guitar nowadays. So getting this guitar at the price point that I wanted, which was around $40, not very easy to come around, and most of the time when you get it around there, it's somebody who doesn't know what they're selling and somebody who used it very lightly. So a common thing on the marketplace for these guitars is a lot of people who are selling them really obviously don't have a need for them, and a lot of people that I know never really got past easy or medium, so most of the time they'll be doing simple stuff like, or even slower in that regard. But when you're someone like me who plays expert or goes ridiculous and plays stuff like the Solace series or any other intense song nowadays, you do a lot of crazy stuff on the guitar, and you will notice the littlest of problems in it, including maybe like a slight upstrum problem, which is what this guitar had. So I got this guitar in the mail, and the frets were fine, but they're just not as bouncy as I want them to be. And the strum bar is a bit problematic because for some reason the upstrum isn't as responsive as if I'm doing the down strum. So say I want to do an alternate strum, most of the time, it doesn't register all of the upstrums, which can be very problematic for FC runs, especially for Through the Fire and Flames, which I'm going to be going for. And the last thing I want is to have a miss in one of the solos towards the end and have it not be my fault due to a crappy strum bar. So what I'm going to be doing today is basically tearing this down and showing how I repair guitars, because I've done a few of these already. I have two Wii guitars. I had two Xbox 360 guitars before I got this one. I've had many guitars I've worked on before, a PS3 guitar as well. So I'm nowhere near professional at doing this. I have to give a shout out to JP, XX760XX. He works with these guitars, posts them on his eBay, specifically for people in the Guitar Hero community that want to have a really nice guitar, and he does some pretty nice stuff to them. I am nowhere near a professional like him, but I can show you that it is very easy to work on these yourself. So let's get directly into this. So the first thing I'm going to do is tear down the neck and start working with the silicone pads. So let's get into that right now. So the first thing to note is that the type of screwdriver that you're going to want is a security screwdriver, if you can see in here. Although it does vary the type of screwdriver that you're going to need. Right here you need the security one, but on the inside you're going to need a small little Phillips head. Honestly, I've used bigger sizes before, but the smaller ones normally do the trick. I have a pretty decent sized one here. I don't know the actual size, but I have a multi-tool screwdriver, so this is just one that came in handy. So this is a pretty easy tear down. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to move this way and just show myself. You guys will see this sped up as I do it, but right here, I'm doing this in real time, obviously. Okay. Alright guys, so now that we have all the screws off, it's very easy to take the neck apart. You just gotta do it carefully. I wouldn't say do so much pressure, but it can take it. It's very easy to take off. You just do this, and you slide it right off. So, just like that. Now it's apart. So what we're going to be looking at here is what's inside. So you got the little pins that go to the controller. I'm not going to mess with this part. I honestly don't have much experience with this. I have fixed guitars in the past that had faulty ones with this, but this obviously just covers the board, this little white part, and here is the main board for the frets. So it's very easy to take this apart. You just need one little Phillips head. Actually, this one's also a security one. My bad. I never actually realized that. On the Wii ones, they're the Phillips head, but this was the security one. So I'm going to take my other head. It's going to be nice, and I'm going to take a smaller one from here, actually. I was expecting it to be a Phillips head, but I guess I was wrong. All right. This one's probably small enough. 1.5 millimeter, I assume that's what it means, but I could be wrong. I'm not a very technical guy, so when it comes to screwdrivers. So all you gotta do is just simply take this off, and this is where the fun begins. So when it comes to how you fix up these, this is the main board right here. You want to line these parts up with this part on the guitar. So I've actually never worked with this guitar specifically before, but it's the same process for every single one of these guitars, whether it's a Wii one, whether it's a 360 one, PS3, it's all relatively the same. So if you see right here, these are what the fret pushes up against and goes against the board for the hit detection. So when it comes to these, I like the frets and how they are on 360 guitars, but sometimes I feel like they just need a little more of a bounce. So what you really do here is, if you see these little circles around here, you would cut holes around them. That way it's, you know, a faster button pressing, and it just works out better for the guitar in the end. And I've also heard that it actually future-proofs the guitar, but then I've also heard that it decreases the lifespan. I really don't know what it does, but all I know is that it makes the buttons feel much nicer, because when you have some air circulating through it, you know, you have a lot faster button presses. So what I'm going to do first is actually clean this up. It seems like this has got some dust on it, so that's not always very helpful with electronics. With dust, that can definitely mess with the inputs. But when I'm done with this, I don't know if it's going to be perfect. I very rarely get the holes in these things perfect, but we're going to go and do that. I'm going to wash it out first and then start with the silicone mod. And when I'm done, we're just going to place it back in the guitar, and we're going to move on to the body right after I show you how to do it. Okay guys, so when you're done cutting the holes, hopefully it looks a little bit better than this. Like, this will get the job done, but unfortunately I am not the best cutter, and I'm terrible under pressure. I think my first grade sister, who only learned how to cut in the lines last year, would probably do a better job on this than me. So it's going to work, and you'll notice that it's going to be much bouncier than if you had it where the sides weren't cut out. So all you're going to want to do is just cut around the sides. Make sure you don't hit that middle part. I think I did hit it slightly on one of the frets, but it's not a huge deal. But this is going to make a difference. You'll feel that they're extremely bouncy, and they're going to be very good. So the thing that you're really going to want to do now that they're cut is put them back on the frets. So they go this way. They basically just face the frets. Before I put them back on, another thing to note is, if you're too nervous to do this, another thing you can do is just poke holes with a safety pin through the pads. It's not going to destroy them. It will still make them bouncy, but if you want to do that, just in case you are too nervous to cut the holes, you could, and it will make a difference, because I have done it in the past. So right now, I just place them back on the frets. I try to line them up as good as I can. All right, so that seems to be pretty lined up. I don't see any problems. Now what you're going to want to do is just slide this over, put that little board over the hole that it was designated to. You put this over here, you line it up nice, and then you screw it back in, which is what we're going to do. So after this, I'm just going to show you that the neck is back and it's all put together. So you're going to see a little speed up of me putting this whole guitar back together. Alright guys, so now we have the neck all put back together. As you see, it is perfectly intact and there's no problems with it. And as of now, these frets feel basically perfect, way better than they were before, I can tell you that. So just playing with this thing, you can just notice a huge difference from when you initially had it where they were untrimmed. So like I said before, anybody can do this part. It's very, very simple. You can get a first grader to do it and they probably figure it out as long as you told them what to do. So feels nice. Let's move on to the body of the guitar. Alright guys, so we're now at the body of the guitar, in which you're going to want to take off the faceplate right here, which you easily do by just going on the back here, and there's a little lock. You turn it, you switch it to where there's the unlock section, and you take the faceplate off. Now this guitar was a little bit of a pain because it seemed to be, I guess, on there forever. So it's very simple. What I just did was get under it with a knife and rip it right off. I'm actually probably going to keep this off just because it looks better without the faceplate, in my opinion. I really like the look of it. What I'm going to end up actually doing is cleaning this a little bit, but this is the front of the guitar where you'll find some screws in order to open it. So you'll find them in a lot of these places. I like it better with the guitar where you can just get it from the back on the Les Paul and even on the 360 guitar, but over here is fine too. It should be a very simple process. I've never done it on a 360 World Tour guitar, but I assume it's going to be just like a PS3 guitar. So I'm going to clean this up real fast, and then I'm going to get straight into the teardown. Alright guys, so for some reason my dumbass forgot to press record, but this is a pretty simple teardown. I just took every screw out. So for these holes right here, these bigger ones, you're going to see screws that look like this. They're going to be a little bit bigger. But for these small holes right here, by where the neck gets attached, you're going to see screws that are pretty small. Small ones like this. So definitely have two sizes by you, but with that, it's time to tear down the guitar. So it's just as simple. You take it off. I don't know if I'm going to save all of these, but I'll take these off. Those are my least favorite things because you got to line them up with the guitar when you put it back together. You take this out. Okay. You take that up, and what you got, alright, did I forget to take a screw out? No, I didn't. Okay, you got the bottom, and now what you got is a pretty awesome back plate. Okay, so now that we're at this part in the video, I just realized I'm stupid and I forgot to actually take out the screw that's hidden behind the sticker here. I was like, why is this thing not coming apart easily? And then I remembered as I was doing this. Alright, so you just want to get past that sticker and get that little screw out. Stupid of me. I don't know how I forgot. There was a warranty sticker right there, and I somehow missed it. Sorry about that, guys. Very stupid of me. Okay, now we can tear it down. Now that we've done that, we can finally tear it down. So, that was ridiculous of me. I've done this I don't know how many times, and I forgot about this thing. So, we're in the inside of the guitar now. This is the little back shell. When I initially did this, I thought that the other part was the shell. So you're going to want to be a little more careful when you're in here because this is really where the electronics are, especially in a 360 guitar, considering that there's just electronics everywhere. And this is really like the main hub of the guitar where the Xbox button is, the power, all that stuff. So right here, this little board right here is where the strum bar is. And this is the main PCB right here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it apart. I'm going to do this off of the video because it's just I'm not going to do this on the desk because holding this down on the strum bar is just a bad idea. So I'm going to do this off video. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay guys, so now that we're done taking all that off, this is the little board right here. These are the springs. I just blew these off a little bit, cleaned the pins just a little bit with some rubbing alcohol, and I'm set to put this back on. So one thing to mention is that the most annoying pain in the ass about this is avoiding touching the whammy bar. It is a pain in the ass to take out if you barely know how to work with these things, and since I barely ever go in the body of the guitar, it took me probably a half an hour to get this thing back in, and I couldn't even get the springs back on, so I gave up on the springs and kind of just put it back in, and it'll work. It's just not going to be as good as if it was a better one with the springs on, but it's whatever. I barely use the whammy bar regardless, mainly because I normally do tapping and I don't normally go for scores, but it works practically the same anyway. So we're just going to put this back together. Let's do that right now. So I took the springs off. You're just going to want to put these back on the strum bar before putting the plate back on. So what you do is you just line them up with the holes in the strum bar. You just put them back on. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm a mess when it comes to this. Plus, it's a pain in the ass because the strum bar just like moves, so I can't even like hold it in place. So you're gonna want to line that up nice, get it nicely even in both. So you line up the springs just like that, and I'm gonna do now use the screwdriver to screw these back in. So I'm actually gonna record myself putting this guitar back together once we get the strum bar back in place. Alright guys, so we have the whole guitar screwed in completely. We should not have any issues with the guitar. I decided not to put the straps back on because honestly I don't care for straps at all. What I'm going to end up doing is just putting the faceplate back on. It's just simple. You slide it on, you line it up with all the holes. Actually make sure you put the whammy bar over first and then line it up. So just put it back on, make sure it clicks. And you got your faceplate back on. So now all you do, once you put that back on, you get the neck, and you just slide it back into the guitar. So this is perfectly in. The guitar feels sturdy, and you now got yourself a fixed up guitar that you bought from wherever site you got from for a decent bargain. So the only thing I didn't fix completely was the whammy bar, but honestly it feels nice and loose now that I got the springs off, so maybe that's a new mod that more people are going to do more often, because I actually like the whammy bar better this way than the normally. Just doesn't have as much of a bounce. But anyway guys, the frets feel nice. This feels like a really nice guitar. Obviously I'm not going to be doing much alt tapping on it because it's a 360 wireless one, but the strum bar feels great. I didn't mod it to do any rake strumming, but it's a very nice guitar. So what we're going to do now is test it out for video, and that will be the end of this tutorial, guys. I mean, this was a lot of fun to record. I'll probably do a teardown of another guitar in the future, but for now, this was the 360 World Tour guitar. If I'm going to make another video, I'll probably be talking about frets more often. If you wanted to, you can actually pop these frets out and customize them, but for the sake of this guitar, I'm just going to keep this normal with all the parts together, just because it's going to be my console guitar. So thanks for watching the tutorial. Here's some gameplay of me using this guitar. So we're going to do a song that has some strumming in it, just to kind of show what's going on here. And so what other song than a Sum 41 song? Let's just do it at 125. We don't need to go crazy. But we're going to mainly be doing up and down strokes on here. All right, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in to my tutorial video. I hope this helped you guys out for in terms of looking for guitars. As you see, the repair was a complete success. Not a single overstrum, not a single miss. This strum bar is perfectly intact, and the frets feel amazing now. So you can go on wherever you want and look for these guitars. And most of the time, when they have an upstrumming problem, it's not a problem with the hardware itself. It's just something that needs some cleaning. So that's great. It's nothing where you have to do any resoldering. It probably does help to do it if you do have that experience. But if you are a person who's not very knowledgeable on electronics, I'm not too knowledgeable on the electronic side of anything either. I'm more of like a mechanical kind of guy, just open it up and fix it up. But um, if you're like that, this is one of the perfect things to go for if you're looking for a Guitar Hero controller. You can find this cheap anywhere if you're, just on the internet. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you all in the next video. And if you have any questions and want maybe like a more hands-on approach or a more hands-on tutorial, just DM me on Instagram, PM me on YouTube. We can get on Discord or whatever, and I'll help you all out. So thank you for watching once again.